Because this is about a new direction for the American people. No candidate's going to be perfect. But John McCain voted 95% with George Bush in the last couple of years. The difference between Barack Obama's policy in Iraq and John McCain's policy in Iraq is 98 years in Iraq. And I don't think the American people want us to be in Iraq, because we need that money here at home to deal with schools and health care and education and gas prices. We can do better than 98 years in Iraq. John McCain's policy on Iraq is the same as George Bush's. John McCain's policy on taxes and economy is the same as George Bush's. John McCain's policy on health care is the same as George Bush's. Enough of George W. Bush. We don't need 4 more years of George W. Bush. We need a new beginning for America, where everybody gets included, whether they agree with us or not, where we work with the people on things we agree with and get things done, where we set aside our differences and turn this over to a new generation who understands that building America in the vision that was intended with optimism and opportunity is what this is about. So we need your help when you get back to your states in doing this, and we need your help here in Texas. We're not going to get those 5 representatives in the State House in Texas unless we register more people to vote. We're not going to send Rick Noriega to the United States Senate and leave John Cornyn. He can go retire in the retirement home in Crawford, Texas, too. We're not going to get that to happen unless we can register some more people to vote. We need to get this done, and we're serious about it, and we're not leaving a single state behind, not one state behind. Now, the last thing I want to say is this. Oh, by the way, here's our door hanger. We all want you to get one. We've got folks in the crowd going to hand them out. The last thing I want to say is this. The job of the next President of the United States is twofold. And Iraq and healthcare and the economy are all part of this. But the overlying vision is this. This is an opportunity to undo 30 years of bitter, ugly, divisive, scapegoating, hate-based politics, where one party believed that they were more important than our country, where people believed the Constitution was something that was an inconvenience instead of the basis of how we relate to each other. We can undo that if Barack Obama is the next president. Healing America here at home, Barack Obama is going to be the president of all of America, not just the half that agrees with him. The other thing that we need to do, and Barack is actually going to take off and do this in the next couple of days, is begin to restore American moral authority elsewhere in the world. From the end of World War I until George Bush misled the American people along with Dick Cheney and John McCain and sent our troops to Iraq, from the end of World War I until that time, we were looked up to by nearly every country in the world. Even in countries where people hated us, where the governments hated us, their people looked up to America. You can't sit down with the Catholics and the Protestants in Northern Ireland, or the Palestinians and the Israelis in the Middle East, or the Indians and the Pakistanis. You can't sit down and bring peace unless you have the moral authority to do that. And George Bush and John McCain and the Republican Party have forfeited America's moral authority, and Barack Obama will restore that by treating other countries as allies and with dignity. That's all we ask. We don't have to agree. We don't have to agree with every other country, and we're not going to. And we are going to have to be tough. There are some bad people out there who mean us harm, and we will have to be tough with them. But the best way to defend America is to get on a team with lots of other countries that want to defend themselves first, and not treat them with petulance. Foreign policy by petulance is a bad idea. We ought to be treating our friends as their friends, and if we have disagreements with our friends, we can work those through, but we need to stand together. There are serious problems in the world, and there are people in the world who mean us harm. The best way to stand up with them is to understand that defending America is not only about a strong military and a well-trained and well-equipped military. It is about respect. It is about commanding the respect by optimism, holding up opportunity, standing up for human rights. The reason we need to close Guantanamo is not just because it's morally abhorrent, it's because we need to send a signal to the rest of the world that we're not going to stoop to the same level of the terrorists when we're defending ourselves against terrorism. So that's what this election is about. It's not just about the things, the day-to-day issues that make the American people suffer. It is about a grand and glorious restoration of this extraordinary vision that the Founding Fathers and Mothers, I might add, even though they didn't get the ink for it, 225 years ago, stood up for, and we can stand up for this country again. We still have a constitution that's the envy of the rest of the world. We need a president who believes in it, and we need you not just to elect Barack Obama, but we need you to carry on the vision long after Barack Obama is no longer president of the United States. This is about a restoration of a great country for a whole generation. You are the hope. Thank you so much.